talked about how different worldviews, depending on your worldview and what you believe about the world, you'll give a different priority to each area of these. So there's an order which is A, B, C. There's an order B, A, C, C, A, B, and C, B, A. The four that are common in the world of priority. Okay, so if you different cultures have different priority that they give to each area. So in some cultures, the conceptual analytical is the most important. In some, it's not. This kind of thinking, area of thinking, is most important. Okay. Now, today, that's all review. Today, we have some that are like this: A, B, C, B, C, A. In this order, like most important, second most. Okay. So these are four different common thinking styles. So now, 1 point today as an introduction. Don't be confused with what we would call not priority but emphasis. We just call that emphasis. So if your culture, your worldview means that you are an ABC thinker, and conceptual analytics is most important, and then B and then C, you might be very good at EQ. Okay. You might be very good at EQ. You're an ABC thinker from this culture and worldview, and you're really good at EQ, an emotional quotient. You know what I mean, EQ? What's that in Chinese?
情緒智商啊，中文哋叫情緒智商。
情緒智商. Okay. You know what EQ is? It's not IQ. IQ is up here. EQ is emotional quotient. So you get along with people really well. You can sympathize with people. Okay. So you might, let's say you're really good, you get along with people really well, you're emotionally connected with people around you. Does that mean you are a CAB thinker? Does it mean, no, it doesn't mean that. It just means you're good at that. It doesn't mean it's the most important thing you're thinking, it just means you're good at it. Okay, or maybe you're really good with particulars. When we got married, we had a friend who helped us manage the wedding, right? So if you pick that person, you want to pick someone who's good at this. Okay? So you could be good at the details, but still it doesn't mean you're a BCA thinker. Maybe I got this wrong. Is that right? BCA. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you're good at B, it doesn't necessarily mean you're a BCA thinker. Okay, you might be in a BCA. And most of the people in this group are better for this part. They're probably most of them going to be better at it. But you might be in another group and be good at something that's on the second or third level. Or maybe you're in this group and you're just not very good with conceptual analytical thinking. You might know it and try it, just not be very good at it. But you still give it the priority and say, this is the most important. Okay, yeah.
Just a quick note on priority. One of the more helpful ways to think about it is in terms of decision maker. So what makes a good decision? Is a good decision something I'm just doing by habit, which would be B, or tradition, which is B? Is a good decision a decision I'm just making by my gut? Or is a good decision a decision that I have thought about? Because the gut would be C, the thinking about it would be A, and the tradition or habit would be B. So in terms of the prioritization, which is most important, a really good way to look at it is what is my good decision maker? How do I make a good decision?
You mean, okay, let me see if I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an ABC thinker,
Mm-hmm.
you will think that what is called a so-called good decision
Mm-hmm.
is based on what? Is it based on your feelings? No. It's based on thinking about it, the concepts and the ideas. If you're in this group. If you're in this group, you you'll say, no, a good decision making, the best way, a good decision is a decision you make based on your traditions, habits, and it is. The best way, a good decision is the one that you make based on your instinct. That's the word I was looking for, instinct. Instinct, intuition, no, those are the best decisions. Okay, that's priority, right? That's priority.
Yep.
Now, emphasis is something different.
Yep.
Okay, so you might be this, and it might be something like, it could be something like this, right? You could be an ABC thinker, and you're not very good. You still know the best decision, the good decision I know, I need to think about it and analyze it. But I'm not very good at that, but I'm going to try. So, and meanwhile, you're really good at details. You need to organize stuff. And you're seeing it, you don't give it too much priority. So, that's my introduction today. Make a difference between priority and emphasis. Okay, that's just, if you understand that, fine. If you don't, fine. Now, the part, okay, we have 2 exercises to do today. Okay, the exercise, the first one, okay, exercise 7, I got on the paper here. Okay, with some of the concepts in exercises 1 and 2, demonstrate 20 types of relational concepts. They can be good, bad, or neutral. Okay, Vicky, your group first. Okay, your group first. One of you pick one of your concepts. One of your, come out, share with everyone. Okay, everyone listen, and we learn a lot from listening too. So let's listen to what the others did or thought. Okay, what's your relational concept? Demonstrate here, demonstrate here.
Without repentance, you cannot be baptized. Do you agree? And without, even though we repent, without baptism also, it's still useless. So we need both.
How did you come up with this idea? Why did you think about this?
Because when I'm thinking, I think based on the Bible, what I have learned in church. So this concept, it comes in my mind, and
okay. Do you think this is a good, bad, or neutral concept?
It's a very good concept. Why? Because it's a good example to everyone to have a repentance, and it's a good also to everyone to have baptism, so that we can obey the salvation that Christ offered for us.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, we're going anti-clockwise around the curve. So who's going to come out?
Kim, lock him. Come on.
Okay.
Go on, lock him.
We don't care who. Okay, let's see.
What?
Did which one?
And don't use your
Okay, listen.
Knowledge is positive because it's like its ability to acquire knowledge. Its ability to acquire knowledge, and then like ultimately knowledge is power.
This is your relational concept. Okay. Where did you get? You can help him. Go on. I just you can help. Explain that relational concept.
Knowledge and intelligence.
What's the relation?
Ability to acquire knowledge.
Why do you think that? Where did you get that from? Google. Really? What did you put in your search?
Intelligence definition.
Is that a good, bad, or neutral concept?
It's a positive.
Why?
It's the intelligence, it's the ability to acquire knowledge. Intelligence leads to knowledge, and ultimately leads to power.
Okay, thank you. Okay. All right.
If you went to Google, is that artificial intelligence?
Okay, your group? Okay, come up. So we can write it down.
I want to about the supernatural. Okay. Because it is quite you can see the contrast, which is God as gods. In supernatural, we worship God. So we have a spiritual relationship with God, which is our creator. And that everybody knows and He created us and the whole world. But with gods, there are a lot of gods or idols. So, but these gods or idols also have supernatural power, but they don't create us. Sometimes we create them, but we worship them. Sometimes people worship them also to gain benefits. So this is obviously created, and this is and I don't think there is natural and neutral.
How did you get this idea, this relational concept?
Oh, when we were talking, we talked about supernatural and what's there, then some of us say resolution.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
So the concept, learn and learn. See, we think they're very similar. You learn a process, and then you learn bit behind you. So, if in a marriage, I say something very bad to my wife, and she gets angry, I learned something. And I learned not to go there again. Stay away from that, because that hurts her. It's not good for her. So it's relational for sure, as you learn things in marriage. And the first learning could be positive, or it could be negative. And if it's negative, it can turn positive. Because I learned not to go there.
Now, how did you come up with this?
We looked at these words, and we said, how can that be relational? And we started trying to think of ways it could be relational. How does that word fit into a relationship? Marriage.
Jason, any follow-up on this we've gone through once?
I think we've got some interesting ideas. I think that it is, the question is worded very broadly. There's a reason for that. Part of it is to see how you understand the question, because your concept of the question is also part of thinking. And it's interesting to see different ways that people interpret how to answer the question. Because there's a lot of different ways that you can approach, demonstrate a relational concept, which is pretty broad. But yeah, we've got some interesting ideas. Some interesting connections coming out of it. Some interesting things that are being examined. And I think that's good.
Well, let's go around one more time then.
Okay,
Someone
different people.
Someone different in the group, and a different one, okay? Because you've done 20, right? Okay, all right, Jody, lend your ears.
Your ears and eyes. God and man, and we learned that God is our creator and man is his creation. Man also, God also is powerful, and man is not powerful. So God is still powerful than man.
You said we learn.
Yeah,
What do
we
you mean?
learn. We learn in the church and the Bible and in our faith training that God is our creator and man is his creation.
All right, good. Is this good, bad, or neutral? Neutral. And why is that? Why do you say neutral? Why do you say neutral, not good, not bad? Why do you think?
Okay,
Yeah, no, it's okay. Why do you think? You said neutral. You said really quickly. Yeah, why? Is this relational concept, do you think it's good, bad, or neutral?
It's good.
Good, you changed.
Yeah.
Oh. That's okay, why? Okay, why? Why do you think it's good?
Because they are related.
They might be related in a bad way. So, how is that? Yeah, can you explain? Why do you think
They're
that's
related
good?
if they could be.
Yes, how, why, how, why do you say that?
Because God created the man. So
You think
the
that's good?
purpose.
You think
and
that's
that.
good?
Yeah.
You think it's good?
Yes. With the purpose and that. So
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Someone might say, no, that's bad. God created man, it was a mistake, it was bad, So, if If you say there's a reason. Yeah, so, okay. Green or orange?
Green and orange. The orange one up.
However you want to demonstrate. All the animism you need.
Which is they believe that everything is solar. You also have egalitarianism, which is for example, you believe humans are more better and they're related because
You think they're related? How? In what way?
they're both related to
What's really
having an
soul?
identity with yourself, or having an identity of yourself, makes you different from, and
Is it bad or neutral?
good and bad. It depends on.
It depends on what.
Even, if you were vegan, like if you believe that humans and animals are the same, then you wouldn't think that. You wouldn't believe in egalitarianism.
That's bad. How about this? You say it could be good or bad. How about this?
Because sometimes if you think humans are more intelligent or more intelligent or more powerful than animals, you're wrong because like there are some animals that are much stronger than us naturally without technology.
That's still bad. It's just all bad. How did you come up with this? Why did you do this? What concerns going on in your head? Why? I don't. Why are you thinking about this kind of stuff? Yeah, those are, not everyone even knows what they're doing. I have to look at this, I'm not sure. So yeah, why are you thinking about this kind of stuff? Okay, there's some reason that's in there. Can you put your finger on it?
Well, I saw animism was on her worksheet.
Okay.
So my first definition is that everything is soul.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, but do all our souls have the same level of soul?
Okay. And then that you got over that, which says no, they don't. Right, okay. I see. There's a pathway of your thought that got there. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay. And it's easier for you to get out.
Your turn then.
demonstrate this relational trust?
A lot of people think money is good. Give us can buy a lot of things and enjoy a lot of what we enjoy. But it's over thinking to us. And because it will lose our life. So we think money is neutral. Not good or bad.
Okay, what's the connection?
Thinking.
What? Yeah,
We
what?
just because we need
Okay, how did you get to this idea?
we just thinking what is good for our life. So we thinking, but over.
What do you mean over?
Golf and hustle.
How do you use, how do you use money with good? Like if you on the good way, then good and bad.
Okay, okay, one more. One more before our break. Thank you. Alan? Okay, here's last but not least. Don't need it. Just listen. Don't need it right now.
Faith is a relation concept between a person and God, or people, between one person and another person. Like in the Bible, Peter was riding on the boat, and there's storm. When there's then Peter was afraid, and then asked Jesus to help, and Jesus said, "Oh, you little faith." So with little faith is not a good thing. And on contrast, the Roman general centurion, he asked Jesus to heal his servant, and he just said, told Jesus just to say something without going to his house, and Jesus said, he has a great faith, and this is a good thing.
How did you come up with this idea? Or why? It came from somewhere. You were all talking about it, right?
No, I just pick up the one is easier.
Where do you think this, how did this come in your mind? Why do you have this thing? You have this idea.
Because recently we had Bible study talking about faith. about the story of Jesus.
Why do you use stick figures to demonstrate this idea? No one else did.
Oh,
You did.
a picture was a thousand words.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Alan. Yeah, demonstrate is one of those things, like Jason said, you can interpret it in different ways. Dareth asked me, I need to draw a little line. Well, people before her drew a little line. So, is that why you asked me? Yeah? What did you want to draw? Did you want to draw something else?
No.
Okay, so there was a little line. Joaquin did a slash, right? Double slash. Alan drew pictures. No one did a skit. Ah, 2 or 3. Well, this could be a way to demonstrate. Do a skit. You could get the marriage thing and then just do a little skit. Alan. Using intangible concepts, give 15 positive concepts that will explain any 5 of Jesus' parables.
Okay, first of all, we chose
Okay.
the parable to explain, was the parable of the net, which you will find in Matthew chapter 13, verse 47. The kingdom of heaven is like a net that was let down into a lake and caught all kinds of fish. When it was full, the fishermen pulled it up on the shore. They sat down, collected the good fish in baskets, and threw the bad away. This is how it will be at the end of the age. The angels will come and separate the wicked from the righteous and throw them into the fiery furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Have you understood all these things? Jesus asked. Yes, they replied. He said to them, therefore, every teacher of the law who has been instructed about the kingdom of heaven is like the owner of a house who brings out of his storeroom new treasures as well as old. So we wanted to have 15 positive concepts. We're using intangible things, so the intangible things that we saw. I have 4 minutes. Got it. The intangibles were the good, the bad.
Okay, listen, the benefit we get from doing these exercises is listening to what the others did. That's a great
Wicked, righteous. These are the intangible things. We can't touch my writing. Okay? Good and bad. Kingdom of heaven, the owner of a house. We're comparing these things. We also have a comparison between new treasures and old treasures. And then we said, what are some positive, we're looking for positive concepts. So some that we came out with, positive concepts to explain this parable. We have good, we have reward, value, we have righteousness, we have persistence, food or nourishment, now that's only some of the concepts, positive concepts. Now we want to take that and explain this parable. So the thing is, sorry, I thought you were giving me some good ideas. What was the purpose of the fishing trip? Is to find food, get nourishment. Also for the livelihood of the fishermen. They're going to sell these fish. They need the income from this job to support themselves and their families so they can live. So the purpose is the nourishment, employment, money, livelihood, and how are we going to find a meaning with all of those things is that we have to look at the result of the fishing trip. Okay, the result of the fishing experience. One result was to find the good fish, the things that can be used to be sold, and also we had a comparison in there between the wicked and the righteous, because the angels at the end of the age are going to be like those fishermen. They come and they're going to collect all the people, and they're going to find who's the wicked, who's the righteousness, who's righteous, and those that are wicked will be thrown into the fiery furnace. They're gone. But those who are righteous have a reward in heaven.
Okay. So definitely you definitely found lots of positive concepts in one parable. Was it difficult? Good interview. Was that hard to find all those? So many? Not too hard?
She's an A subject.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. And you started with the parable, right? You started with the parable and worked from there to look for the concepts.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, Evelyn's turn.
Prodigal son, okay? Prodigal son, the son, second son and his father, their relationship. So it's an intangible relationship. So we can find out few positive concepts on that parable. It's father's love, grace, forgiveness, repentance, acceptance. And other parable is salt and light. And the positive concept, useful, tasted, and security, healthy, plans, earning.
Okay. How did you get this? How did you get it?
Three of us, we are discussion about that parables, and then we'll think about this positive concepts.
Okay, so you thought about the parable first, and then thought about the concepts. Is that right? And then another one, and thought about the concepts.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it hard?
And not too hard, right?
Hard.
A little bit hard.
Okay.
Some of them is hard.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, Jasmine, your turn. Thank you. Okay, it's not the end of the book. All right. Okay, what's your what are your intangible concepts? What are your parables?
Parables are lost sheep, so seeds, the
this last one? Lost point. Okay.
We found that these five parables, they had this same positive concept as faith.
Okay. Explain that a little bit.
Of sheep,
Yeah.
the shepherd and faithfully buying his sheep that ran away.
Yeah.
And the sower seed, like if you have like faith and what Jesus says, I would like you grow really big and you won't like get strangled by the thorns and stuff. And the prodigal son, like when the son came home, the father was really party. He probably had faith that he would become good again. He would run off again. And then the mustard seed had big, would grow into a big tree.
Lost point. One more.
The woman had faith she could find her place.
Okay. Very good. How did you get this idea? How did you get this idea?
We chose the concept first, and then the parables.
Okay. All right. Was it hard or easy? Or medium?
It was definitely very easy.
Hey, thank you. Okay. We didn't count yet. Maricel.
Why always me, ah?
Vicky already did.
Yeah, I
Vicky
already did, so it's your turn.
It's your turn.
It's your
Please,
turn.
almost like it.
Good luck.
I don't forget the 10 virgin, I only know one virgin
This is two groups.
Yeah.
Two groups. Okay, Maricel, get ready.
I choose two parables, the rich man
Are you ready? Okay, I was the rich young man.
and then the parable of the
Lost sheep. Okay.
I got the concept of obedience,
Okay.
possession, treasure,
What?
treasure,
Treasures.
follow,
Follow.
honesty,
Honesty.
and then love,
Okay.
family, loss.
Family and lost. Okay. Okay, that's a lot. You got a lot of concepts out of there.
These two.
Okay, take maybe, obedience.
So
That's down.
in the rich young man, when the man asked Jesus what he does to do so that he can enter in the kingdom of heaven. So Jesus said, give up your possessions and follow me. And then
What about lost sheep?
The lost sheep is it's about the Jesus' love for the lost sheep. So he considers that the people as his family. That's why even though they fall away or they went away, Jesus still finds them.
Okay, is that something to do with obedience? Or
The obedience is, yeah, it's also an
obedience is
obedience
part
because
here? Yeah, okay.
here also is if you want to be Jesus' family, you should obey what he said.
Okay, how about one more? How about honesty?
And you see, because he asked Jesus what he needs to do to enter the kingdom. Right? So if he asked and then Jesus answered him back that you should do this, and he didn't do it because you should be honest to what you're asking, so that if anybody answers you got his answer back, and you can claim his answer. So you should be honest to ask.
Okay, how did you get these? How did you arrive at this answer?
This answer?
Yeah.
I look up to the parables in the Bible,
Yeah.
and then I suppose to choose 5, any 5. So, but I don't have time, so I choose these 2 and then compare it. There's a contrast between these two parables. So I think it's family or love.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, one more. Marisol, which kid? You wrote down something. Can you share that with us? Okay. This exercise is like the previous one. You have to decide how you're going to answer it. Right? There could be different ways. Right? You saw there were some different ways to approach it in the different groups. Their group had quite a different way. They started with, you started with the concept, right? And then you look for parables that find that in. I think that most of the other groups, you start with the parable, and then you drew out concepts from them. Okay. I did a little bit too. Let's see, what did I do? I think I looked at some parables and looked for common ideas in those parables, and then connected them like that. That's how I did it. Okay, so, Jason, what's your summary or final comments?
So, one thing that I find interesting about these exercises is, one, that people will often ask, well, what am I supposed to do? And the question is, well, what do you think? The answer is, what do you think you're supposed to do? And people don't like that for some reason. They look at you funny when you tell them that. Like, you're supposed to tell me what I'm supposed to do. But that's part of the exercise, is to think for ourselves, well, how do I want to answer this? What do I think it means? What do I think it wants? And as we can see with some of the exercises here and the way different people did them, sometimes what we think is wanted from the exercise can be quite different. We don't necessarily look at it the same way, and that's fine. That's part of what we're learning here is not just how am I thinking, but how do other people think, and oh, hey, they think differently from me. You know, and it's not good or bad in any particular way, it's just different. It's a different perspective, a different way of looking at things. And one of the things this can help us to do is be able to figure out, oh, well, this is how, this is other people thinking. And so other people are thinking, we know that other people don't think like us, but a lot of times we don't really know that other people don't think like us. We really think, most of the time they think like we do, but sometimes they think weird stuff. And it's important to note that, no, people think weird stuff all the time. We're always looking at things differently. We're always seeing things differently. And to be able to understand that and recognize that in other people helps us to be able to communicate with them. Helps us to be able to understand them the way that, we're also learning we understand ourselves. And so seeing the different ways that people can take a look at stuff, and also seeing the different ways people look at things, helps us learn. Because I look at that and I go, wow, I would never have gotten that out of this. That's completely different than what I thought. But it's good. It's interesting. It teaches me something. And it gives me the ability to learn from differences instead of a lot of times just being nervous about differences or freaked out by differences or, oh man, that's just weird. I don't know what to do with that. That's strange. How do I handle this? And I think that's an important thing to be able to learn. Is that kind of flexibility to be able to see the interesting things that other people are seeing and not just look at it as, oh, well, that's strange and different, but, oh, hey, that's something that I can learn from. I might not agree with it. I might think it's weird. I might think it's, I don't know what, but I can learn from it. And that's part of what these exercises are too, is getting us to think through how we're thinking through stuff and how others, help us to see how other people are thinking through. So, no, I think things are going pretty well. I like the group. I like the ideas that we're coming up with. I think those are good. A lot of times we come up with an idea and we think, oh man, I don't know, this is kind of a goofy idea. Go for it! Go for it. Just, you come up with an idea, go with the idea. Trust me, I have seen weirder ideas. I've taught at the freshman level in college. I have seen some really weird ideas. It's okay. There aren't any that are too weird. There's just, why do you have it? We're not making up stuff out of nothing. There's a reason behind what we do. There's a reason behind where we come up with it and why we come up with it. And the point is not, is that reason good or bad? It's just, what is it? Do we understand why we come up with what we come up with? Because once we start understanding that, we can understand better how we can change some of the things we see we need to change. Why do I think this way? Why do I do, oh, well, then I could do this or that differently. And that helps me to grow. So, yeah, good class.
Okay,
Doing all right.
thank you, Jason.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Scott.
Next week, I think I'm going to start with talking a little bit about identity. I think that's next. Talk about identity. Okay. So then we'll do some more exercises and step by step, just trying to make it a little bit more challenging as we go. Okay, great. Thank you. See you next time.